think I'm gonna have to waste that energy card. So we got nothing. Oh, we got a scoop up net though. That's perfect actually. But we have to discard our air balloon. Nothing we can do about that. We shouldn't have attached the air balloon because we actually use a bird keeper for the switch. So that air balloon was totally useless. Let's use a training card instead of a capacious bucket because, you know, that way we are not actually wasting our energy cards. So now we actually get to knock it out because it doesn't have any weakness guard. We don't even need to discard all our water energies. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the Full Metal Wall again. Oh no. So they are using a camping gear, not a good card actually, because you actually end your turn after searching for that card from your deck. But you are able to search for, you know, any card, and it is an item card, but it doesn't matter that it's an item because you actually have to use it as your last trump card for the turn, because your turn actually ends after using it. So I'm gonna use a Marnie now. I actually have to scoop it up first. Oh, scooping it up actually does the trick, so we don't need a Marnie now. We could actually fish out a Sonia instead for more energy cards. So let's attach one. We have an energy retrieval for an extra, for that extra one card. So I don't want to waste be wasting my energy retrieval yet. So let's just, we even have air balloons on our Frosmoth, so let's make full use of all of our cards. Hello everybody, welcome to Beware the Terrible. Today we have a new deck in the standard format for you called the Burning Snowman. So in this deck we're featuring the Galarian Darmanitan card from Darkness Ablaze. So Galarian Darmanitan is a fire type with the water energy attack cost, 2 water energies and 1 colorless frozen heat attack, allowing you to do 110 damage plus an extra 60 damage if you choose to discard all water energy from this Pokemon. So you can choose to maintain your energies attached to this Galarian Darmanitan for a base damage of 110 without the extra effect. And how do we charge this Darmanitan? So the way we are charging this card is with our Frosmoth. So Frosmoth has the Ice Dance ability, allowing you to attach any amount of water energy cards from your hand to any one of your benched water type Pokemon. So it's very restrictive. You only get to attach water energy from your hand to your benched water type Pokemon. So that's very, very restrictive. So obviously water and ice type is the same symbol. So Galarian Darumaka is also an ice type. So we are not having we don't have a fire type Galarian Darumaka. So that's a plus sign. That means we actually get to charge it up with our Ice Dance before we evolve and use our Frozen Heat attack. So how do we do that over and over again? Because once it evolves, we cannot charge it up with our Ice Dance. So Frosmoth's ability no longer works after Darmanitan is fully evolved. So that's the bad thing about this card, because it's a fire type. We cannot use the ability, Frosmoth's ability, to charge it up after it evolves. So we have to be careful about that. That is why we have our Scoop Up Net. We don't have many Scoop Up Nets in this deck. We only have 2 to spare. So it's important to use it sparingly. But we are not expecting this card to stay in play very long, because it's only 140 HP. And you know, it's a 1 price card, it's a stage 1, and we are playing a standard format. So this is actually, we're not expecting it to stay alive very long. So those Scoop Up Nets are only there just in case your opponent can't knock it out yet. So if your opponent are weak enough, if they, you know, have the wrong cards, if they have a bad hand or something, if they can't knock it out, then on your next turn, at least you get to scoop it up and then place that Darumaka that you scooped up earlier onto your bench, and then charge it up with your Frosmoth ready to go for the next turn. And then you can use your Darmanitan that you your Darmanitan that you scooped up earlier to evolve one of your benched, Darumaka that you can pull up as your new active Pokemon that you have already charged up on your last turn preferably. So it's better to have at least 2 Darumakas on your bench early on in the game so that you get to fully charge both of those Darumakas. And then all you have to do the next turn is to evolve and then attack with Frozen Heat, and then scoop up and then evolve again, and then scoop up, evolve again. Sorry, scoop up, evolve, charge, and then scoop up, evolve, charge. So that's the way to go. If you can't scoop it up, it's okay because we have a rod to save those, to save our attacking cards. So it's, we are not expecting it, as I said, to stay in play very long. But if your opponent can't attack it or anything, we have a Bird Keeper as well, just in case it gets stuck in the active spot and we don't have a scoop up net. Bird Keeper actually saves those those Darmanitans. So we also have a training card. Obviously, Frosmoth training card is a very, very famous combo. So 1 training card in this deck and 1 energy retrieval. So energy retrieval training card allows us to fish out those energy cards back from our discard pile into our hand, and then freely attach those energy cards back into our Darumaka, ready to go on the next turn to evolve and attack with Frozen Heat. Also, Headbutt is a good attack. Only 1 energy cost for 40 damage, and we are playing a fire type, meaning leaf type and metal types are weak towards our main attacking card. So that is why we have Fan of Waves. Fan of Waves actually allows us to put those weakness guard energy and coating energy back at the bottom of their deck. That allows us to hit for double the damage. So if we're hitting a Zacian V with our Frozen Heat, we get to do 220 damage, allowing us to knock out 1 Zacian V without any, full metal wall effect, metal goggles, or any other tool cards attached to it. Then we get to hit for a 1-hit knockout without even discarding all of our energy cards. So that's how powerful this card is in pair with our Fan of Waves card. So Fan of Waves is a very strong, super strong, trainer card, because you actually get to reduce your opponent's energy card count in play, even if they are playing other special energies like Twin Energy or Triple XL. Well, Triple XL doesn't work because you get discarded after they play it. So Triple XL is sorry about that, just my mistake there. So if they play any other special energies like even Speed Energy, Horror Energy, or any other energies like that, you get to put those back at the bottom of their deck, and that actually reduces their energy card count. So that's a strong point as well. Even though you're not hitting twice the damage, you are doing something with your Fan of Waves. That is why I love this card, and that is why we have 2 copies of it in this deck. And we also have 3 Frosmoths and 3 Snoms in our deck. We have only 3 Darumakas, Darmanitans in this deck, because we don't want to have way too many, just because we need those trainer cards. Those trainer cards are much, much more important, and I find them like super tight. You need a lot of trainer cards to make this deck work. You need to get those Frosmoth evolved as fast as you can. You need to get as many Darumakas onto your bench as fast, as early on as possible. So you need to do a lot of things to set this deck, to set up for you to get ready on the next turn, to evolve fast, to attack fast. So you need to do a lot to set up your Pokemon for this deck. That is why we have 4 Sonias, 3 Quick Balls, 2 Level Ball. Level Ball allows us to get out our basics, and also a Frosmoth. So Level Ball is very, very versatile. And we also have 4 Evolution Incense, because Level Ball does not allow us to get out our Galarian Darmanitan. The Galarian Darmanitan is our star card, is the main attacking power card. That is why we need our Evolution Incense 4. And we also have 1 Capacious Bucket to get out our energy cards. We don't have Viridian Forest or any other cards to fish out those basic energy from our deck, but we do have 11 energy cards in this deck. We have 8 basic energies and 3 special energies. So 2 recycle energy and 1 capture. So capture allows us to speed setup as well, so that we get as many Snoms and Darumakas onto our bench as early on in the game as possible. And we also have 1 Mew to protect our bench Pokemons, because we are playing multiple 1-price cards, and we have to watch out for Urshifu VMAX, we have to watch out for Rapid Strikes, and all of those bench destruction decks. Even if they're playing Woobat, unamplified sound wave that could actually do a lot of damage to us if we don't have a Mew on our bench, because we are playing very, very weak one price cards. So only 90 HP and only 70 HP for our basic Darumaka and our Frosmoth fully evolved. And sometimes we may need to keep this card at the basic stage, as I said, just because we need to, you know, and pass the turn as well. Just because we can't evolve and we need to charge it up with, water or ice energy before we evolve to be able to attack. So I suppose that's all for this deck. We also have all of our trainer cards and our supporter cards and our our Dedenne-GX and Crobat Vs, 2 Crobat Vs, 2 Dedenne-GX, 2 Brunos, 2 Marnies, 2 Professor's Research, and 2 Bird Keepers. We also have 2 air balloons, because obviously Frosmoth, it's better to have your Frosmoth in the active spot if you're attaching your energies first. So if you have a Frosmoth in your active spot, all you need to do is fish out those air balloons or Bird Keeper, and then switch to your Darmanitan after you charge it up and evolve it, and then switch out your Frosmoth from the active spot into your Darmanitan for the attack. So that's the way to go for this deck. That is why Frosmoth, you need to have air balloons for Frosmoth, and also training card. And recycle energy is also a very good, is a very good card to add in this deck, because recycle, after you discard, if your opponent use a Crushing Hammer or anything like that, any cards to discard your energy cards, even a Steam Crush, 𝒘𝒊𝒕𝒉, the Steam Crush attack, discard 2 energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they discard it, you actually put this card back into your hand. So it's very handy to use. You don't actually have to save it with your training card. That means you actually get double the save. So not only do you get to save your water energy with your training card, you also get an extra energy card, maintained in your battlefield with your recycle effect. So you get to recycle not just this special energy card, but also your water energy with your training card. So that's all for this deck. Let's go ahead for gameplay with our Burning Snowman deck. Very cool deck. I actually got this idea from the theme expansion. So the theme deck, Galarian Darmanitan theme deck from Darkness Ablaze. I took a look through all of the theme decks and tried to make a good budget deck from any one of those good theme decks. They have already made a lot of great decks from Charizard, Vivid Voltage, Cremora, and Vivid Voltage. You see a lot of decks played in the Versus ladder as well. So I don't want to be unoriginal. That's why I pick Darmanitan. Not many people make this. I don't think I've ever seen anyone make a deck from this card, from this Galarian Darmanitan Darkness Ablaze expansion card. So it's a big challenge for me, and it's also quite a fun card to play with, because nobody plays it, So first game, we are up against a steel deck, a metal type deck, very, very promising for us. Full Metal Wall, though, we have to watch out for that, because it discards all energy attached to your active Pokemon. So first things first, get up our Snoms, evolve. Think about evolving your Frosmoth as fast as possible, as fast as you can actually, because sometimes it just gets stuck in the deck. But we do have level balls though. We have 4 evolution intents and 2 level balls to get out Frosmoth faster than our Darmanitan. We do have 3 as well, 3 Frosmoths and 3 Snoms, so we don't have to be too worried actually. So I'm gonna use Sonia because we have 4 Sonias in this deck. Might as well just use it in the first turn. Use it as early on as possible. I keep using early on in this game. In all of my videos, I keep saying that word. Sorry about that. So I'm just gonna discard my Bruno, I suppose. I should have attached my recycle on the active. Let's just get a Dedenne, because we already have 4. Okay, looks like I made a few mistakes there. This is quite annoying. We have a scoop up net though, so we can actually scoop something up and switch it for a Frosmoth the next turn, and then maybe use a Dedenne and some other supporter cards. I don't want to be using Sonia, back-to-back Sonias, because, you know, it's just better to just draw more cards, thin out your deck with a research or a Marnie or something like that, because Sonia doesn't do much. Sonia is only good for setup, and we are already fully set up actually, so we even have a capture. This is a bit annoying because I actually need my Frosmoth first. I can't scoop it up and then switch. I think I'm gonna have to play my Sonia. It's okay, just like, it's fine. They can't hit my bench, so I don't think I need a Mew. I might get a Crobat. Let's just get those two. We're gonna use the Dedenne anyways. Are we gonna use a Dedenne? I don't even know. Yeah, let's just use a Dedenne. So I'm gonna get a Frosmoth, obviously, and then scoop. Attach first, then scoop. It's quite a tricky. The gameplay for this deck is quite tricky. So now that it's fully charged, we get to put it in the active spot and then charge this one with a capture. We don't need to capture anything else because we are playing a Dedenne this turn for more cards. So hopefully we evolve. There we go. We got an evolution card. Perfect. Sorry about that. So should we use a Rod or a Quick Ball? I don't think we need any of those. So we're gonna Marnie the next turn because looks like we have a. They don't have a coating. Only 120, but we are doing only 110 damage, so we do have to watch out for that coating. We don't have Evolution Incense at hand. We don't have another Darmanitan, and it might even be in our prize card because we are only playing 3 copies in this deck. Early reminder, you know, it's important to note that we only are playing 3 Darumakas and 3 copies of Darmanitans in this deck. So they are pretty scarce and we do need to conserve them. We do need to watch out for the number, and they are playing Full Metal Wall as well, so we have to watch out for that too. Oh my gosh, I'm actually pretty scared of Full Metal Wall now. I could do this first though. I think I'm gonna do that because they have a very bad hand. It looks like they have a pretty bad hand, so I'm just gonna charge this one and then wait another turn for the Marnie. Because if I use Marnie now, it would be a waste. I could actually Rod first before I use the Marnie. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I didn't see the Lucky Egg. But it doesn't matter. We don't have a Tool Scrapper. We have no way of bypassing that Lucky Egg effect. It's just impossible to go, you know, break through this card. Because we don't have Tool Scrapper and we don't have Boss Order. No Boss Order in this deck, by the way. No Great Catcher, no Pokemon Catcher. No way of catching their bench Pokemon. So let's see if they play Steel Fist or Heavy or Full Metal Wall. My bad. Aegislash. Charge Order. So this is also a theme card. So in the theme Rebel Clash theme deck, you got it in the Zacian theme deck for Rebel Clash. They could use a what's the word? Energy switch. Energy switch for heavy impact, and that could actually knock us out. So we have to watch out for that. Nothing we can do though if they knock us out. And they did that. So we need a scoop up net though. We have one last scoop up net. I'm just gonna use a Marnie, I suppose. Should have used a quick ball for something first. Okay, we got nothing. At least we get to deal 80 damage with that headbutt. So it's not too bad a deal actually. Should we use Capacious Bucket? We have a Dedenne, so that's not bad. Oh, I forgot about the Full Metal Wall. We are actually doing only 50 because 80 minus 30. They don't have a coating yet. We don't have to be, what do you call that? We don't have to think about Fan of Waves too soon. That's a capture, not a weakness guard. Another lucky egg. And they're not using full, like they're not using heavy impact. That's interesting. They could use it though, because it's only 2 steel energy and 2 colorless. They have 3 and 1 colorless. Should I use Bird Keeper? I think I'm gonna have to waste that energy card. So we got nothing. Oh, we got a scoop up net though. That's perfect actually. But we have to discard our air balloon. Nothing we can do about that. We shouldn't have attached the air balloon because we actually use a Bird Keeper for the switch. So that air balloon was totally useless. Let's use a training court instead of a Capacious Bucket because, you know, that way we are not actually wasting our energy cards. So now we actually get to knock it out because it doesn't have any weakness guard. That's a capture. Let's just make sure it's a capture. Yep. Okay, so 110, 220 actually knocks it out. So we don't even need to... Let's just thin out our deck. We don't even need to... That actually might be a bad idea, but oh well. We don't even need to discard all our water energies. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the... I forgot about the Full Metal Wall again. Oh no. Full Metal Wall. I keep forgetting. Darn it. Okay. We have to use something. We could actually use that Mew for that 3 damage counter, my bad. We have one. Oh, we have 2 more. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Let's keep our trading card for later. We actually used our... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is bad. But at least they can't attack the next turn. Let's hope. Unless they use a switch and a metal saucer or something like that. Fan of Waves is not going to help us now. So let's... I don't know what to do here. Let's just get one out. Should we use the rod? I don't think we need the rod. Okay. Another lucky egg. Okay, I'll watch out for the metal wall now. Like the bloody Full Metal Wall. I think one hit is enough to knock it out with 170. Pretty sure that's enough because 30 damage doesn't reduce by much. So I'm gonna switch my headphones because it's low battery now, so it's just it'll take a second. Okay, I'm back. I forgot I actually can't switch the headphones because if I do, you guys can't actually hear the music. I think it just switched automatically. Oh no, I don't think you guys can hear anymore. I think I'm just gonna turn off my headphones. Let's hope that works. Whatever, let's just get on to the game. The next game, the music will be back on, so let's just knock it out now. Actually, we can actually win the game. Oh wow, thanks to our weakness. I forgot to check for the weakness guard coding energy, by the way. Forgot a lot of things for this game. Forgot about full metal wall. That's the main thing that I forget. Always check everything. You know, there's the symbol, the effect symbol at the side of each player. So if you click that symbol, you can actually see all of the effects. So check all of those effects on each player, on all of their Pokemons and all of those things. Make sure there are no damage reduction spells and all of those before you attack, to make sure you get the full advantage. So let's go ahead for our second game with the Burning Snowman deck featuring Galarian Darmanitan and Frosmoth. So I made a few changes for this deck before the second game, just because I lost quite a few games before that. So the changes that I made is I added an extra Galarian Darumaka and Darmanitan in the deck, and replaced some other cards for it. So I think I replaced, I'm not sure what I replaced actually, but right, I -1 Sonia from the deck and -1 something else, -1 Evolution Incense. So -1 Sonia and Evolution Incense for another Darumaka and another copy of Darmanitan, because we actually need those cards. We need at least 4 of those star cards, the attacking cards, otherwise we can't really do much for this deck. So I'm gonna use a quick ball. I'm gonna discard the Bruno because Bruno is not good early on in the game. It's just gonna it's not, it's not that important. So I think they're playing a Salazzle Whipping Bell deck with a Stoutland to collect extra prize cards, to clean up any VMAX tag team Pokemons. Sorry, V or tag team Pokemons for an extra prize card, because it doesn't work for VMAX actually. Double Dip Fangs only works, the effect only works if the Pokemon that you're knocking out with your Double Dip Fangs is a basic Pokemon. So let's get, can they attack our bench? They're using Delmise, so they actually probably could if they have a Delmise VMAX. We should actually get a Crobat or something to draw more cards, but oh well. Should we evolve now? Let's just evolve now. We should have waited actually because we got a Bruno at hand. They could actually knock out our Snom. So here comes a tool card, special energy, and stadium card. They could actually have a telescopic sight for their Dhelmise VMAX. No, a turf field and a experience share. No special energy. No aromatic energy or twin 𝒘𝒊𝒕𝒉. None of those. Another Venoshock. We got another Darumaka. I might just use a Bruno now. We could use a Dedenne. We got our Darmanitan, but no energy cards. I'm just gonna use that Darmanitan because Headbutt is gonna do the knockout. We're not getting those energy cards. Anger, not enough. 120. I forgot about the extra effect. It's kind of like revenge. It does extra 90 damage for if one of your Pokemon gets knocked out on your opponent's last turn. So I'm just gonna use another Headbutt, and I could actually retreat. Probably have another Darmanitan somewhere. So we got a Energy Retrieval. For the next turn, we can actually retrieve that energy attached to that Darumaka, evolve with a Marnie or Bird Keeper, and then attack for the knockout. Pretty simple game. They have quite a simple deck. They might actually pull out a Rillaboom with the Voltage Beat ability to fast charge their Stoutland V for a Wild Tackle attack or Double Dip Fangs, but it doesn't look like they are doing that. So they are using a Camping Gear, not a good card actually, because you actually end your turn after searching for that card from your deck. But you are able to search for, you know, any card, and it is an item card, but it doesn't matter that it's an item because you actually have to use it as your last trump card for the turn, because your turn actually ends after using it. So I'm gonna use a Marnie now. I actually have to scoop it up first. Oh, scooping it up actually does the trick. So we don't need a Marnie now. We could actually fish out a Sonia instead for more energy cards. We got 4 energy cards left in the deck. So let's attach one. Attach the other one later because we actually have an energy retrieval for an extra, for that extra 1 card. So I don't want to be wasting my energy retrieval yet. So we even have air balloons on our Frosmoth, so let's make full use of all of our cards. We got a Darmanitan, that's perfect. So if we only have 3 copies of Darmanitan and Darumaka, it's actually quite hard to get out those cards, and a lot of them actually end up in the prize card. So that's why I opted to change this deck into a 4-copy Darumaka Darmanitan. So they discarded our air balloon. That's pretty bad for us. Oh, but they didn't do anything else. So I think oh, we just used the wrong one. I forgot to wait to use that energy retrieval, but it's okay. We got the right amount of energy cards attached anyways. So it's safe to evolve now unless they use a Crushing Hammer on us. So let's just use a Marnie. Frozen Heat, discard all energies because we have a Bird Keeper at hand. Just to prepare for them healing their Pokemon because we don't have a Mimikyu in this deck. No heal jamming, so they can actually heal with any cards. Mellow and Lana as well. So there we go, the first heal card. 100 HP remaining. If we didn't do that extra 60, it would be down to 160 HP remaining. So that's actually that actually still works. So that's surprising. So we're gonna Frozen Hit for the win. Frozen Heat for 170 damage. 280 is enough to knock out a VMAX, by the way. Tag team, my bad. Unless they have a Big Charm attached to them or any other tool cards that adds their HP, like a buff padding. Zyre. So single strike Urshifu VMAX. Let's hope it is representative of its deck box. No. Got 2 Darumakas to start with. That's fabulous. We need a Snom that would actually complete our formation. So a Charizard. They're playing Charizard with a Urshifu VMAX deck box. So we are not attacking a VMAX, so that's actually better because we can't actually one-hit knockout a VMAX. We can one-hit knockout any one price cards because we are doing 170 damage unless they are a stage 2 Colossal or stage 2 high HP one price card. And we are a fire type as well, so we can actually target metal and leaf type, metal and grass type for double the damage. So they are playing a tag team though. Let's hope they don't have Great Potion or any heal cards like Mellow and Lana because we don't have a Mimikyu in this deck. So let's put out our Snom to start with because that is our, you know, our main charger. Should we use a Bird Keeper or a Dedenne? Let's use a Bird Keeper first. Okay, we got the right cards. This is actually quite scary. I'm just gonna put forth one. So no energy attached. Oh my gosh, this is quite bad. Let's just pause the turn. If we get a scoop up net or something, we can actually retreat, switch this card for a bench Darumaka. Then we can actually do something. It's actually smarter to play an extra Darmanitan water type just to target those fire types. And they knocked out our Darumaka. So that actually saves us because now we can retreat. Oh my gosh, and we got, oh, forgot to evolve there. We got 3 water energy cards attached to our Darmanitan. Sorry about that, I just, what do you call that? Deviate from the mic. So now that we got all 3 energy cards, we can actually attack with Frozen Heat for the max damage. They can do Flare Strike the next turn, so there's no point saving those energy cards. Might as well discard them now. I'm gonna get my energy cards because we don't need anything else from the deck. We might actually be smarter to get another Darumaka. Let's just not. Let's just keep our hand. So Frozen Heat for 170 damage. So if they heal, With a Great Potion, we can still knock them out the next turn. If they heal with Pokemon Center Lady, still possible. But if they heal with a Mellow and Lana, then that's not possible. Okay, they use an Outrage. Perfect. So now we get to evolve and attack. 110 is actually enough, so we don't need to discard any energy cards. And we get to use Bruno as well. I hate Marnie because you only draw 5 with Marnie, so let's get a Bruno. Let's use a Bruno instead. And we actually get to recycle our energy cards with Energy Retrieval. Perfect. Let's hope we get a recycle energy to charge up the third Darmanitan, because we are wasting a lot of water energy cards and retrievals there. So we got a capture, not bad, for another Snom just in case that gets knocked out. And then let's just save those cards. We got a quick ball for a Dedenne or Crobat, so nothing much to worry about. We are quite ahead at this point in the game because we are 3 prize cards down, and they still have 4 prize cards left. And here comes the Charizard. 170 exactly enough to knock it out. Thank God it's not 180. I think battle styles, quite a lot of the battle styles stage 2 are 180 HP, but from Vivid Voltage and below, usually stage 2 Pokemons are 170 HP and below. We don't see a lot of stage 2 Pokemons except Rillaboom. Rillaboom from Sword and Shield actually is 190 HP, so that's quite an exception there. It could knock us out. Wow. So we can actually choose to retreat or scoop it up. I think I'm gonna scoop it up because I don't think it can do much anymore. It only have 30 HP remaining, so if they have a lot of Galarian Zigzagoons or enough of those bench snipers, they can actually knock us out. So we collected the win. Let's go for another game just because that was quite short. This deck is really not too powerful because we are trying to make the theme card as powerful as possible. The Galarian Darmanitan theme card. So it only does 170 max damage, but it is a 1 prize card though, and it is, it doesn't have a huge cost. All you need to do is discard 2 water energies for that extra 60 damage. And we can actually reattach those energies fast with our Frosmoth by, devolving it with a Scoop Up Net. If we have a Scoop Up Net, we can reduce it by 1 stage and then put it back onto the bench spot and recharge with our Frosmoth, and you get the point. It's actually very, it's quite limber with our Frosmoth card. So let's get Sonia for our Snom. Should we get a Crobat? Let's do the Crobat on the next turn. We don't have energy cards though, so at least we can do something the next turn. We have a Bird Keeper as well, so that's perfect. We got 2 evolution cards and a Bird Keeper. Oh great, we got an energy, that's perfect. So we're going to use a Sonia this turn because we have just the right amount of energy cards. I'm going to fish out a Snom. We don't have another Snom anymore. So it looks like they're playing a Theme Dragonite deck. So they're probably going to hit our bench with a Thunderous Tornado paired with that infamous Thundurus. So we are gonna protect our bench with a Mew. We only have one Mew in this deck, but sometimes that is enough. If you are lucky, which we are in this game, thankfully. So we are gonna knock it out. 110 actually does just enough. So you gotta check for Heat Energies, Big Charm, all of those tool cards, and Heat Energy. I cannot stress enough. Full Metal Wall, Heat Energy, Metal Goggles. Check everything. Heat Energy, I keep missing that card because, you know, it's a special energy that, you know, it's very easy to miss that effect because you can't actually check it on the field unless you right hand click and check the hit points on that Pokemon, because, you know, Heat Energy doesn't have any other display except the, you know, the special energy icon, as you know, as it's normally shown on every card. So let's research. Let's use Frosmoth first. Forgot about that. I might actually use a Bird Keeper for Mew. You know what? Let's just use a Bird Keeper. They might heal their Pokemon though, so you never know what they have in their deck. It's very likely that they are gonna, you know, refurbish those theme decks, make it even better just by adding a few cards. Even though it does look like a mild opponent, you never know. You know, you must be prepared all of the times. So let's get a Darmanitan and charge even more cards with Capacious Bucket. Prepare our third Darmanitan. I think I'm gonna evolve this one because it looks like it's gonna get knocked out very easily. So just to save it from the knockout, we do have 4 Darmanitans in this deck. As I said, I changed the deck list from early on. So if you see the deck list early on in the game, we actually have only 3 Darmanitans and 3 copies of Darumakas in this deck. But I switched it after the first game because we got quite a lot of losses after the first game, so I had to switch it just to make it a little better so that I can, you know, make it better, slightly above average. So we have instead, so they conceded and they let us win. So we have instead, we got 4 Darumakas and 4 Darmanitans in this deck. We replaced 1 Sonia and 1 Evolution Incense for those 2 cards. So now we only have 3 Evolution Incense instead of the earlier 4. And now we only have 3 Sonias as well instead of the earlier 4 Sonias. So instead of having 4 Evolution Incense and 4 Sonias, we have instead 4 Darumakas and 4 Galarian Darmanitan. So why are we switching those cards? Because we actually need 4 to be able to do enough to evolve fast enough and to be able to, you know, do our Frozen Heat every turn. Because if we can't do Frozen Heat back to back, then we can't actually do enough damage to knock out a VMAX, a tag team, or to do enough damage to our opponent fast, because we need to do it fast. If we can't do it you know, fast enough, then if we can't do it early on in the game, then there's no point, you know, having those extra setup cards, because, you know, some of them might turn up in the prize card. So that's also an important point. If you have 2 Darmanitans in the prize card and only 1 to spare in your deck, that's actually very, very bad, because you're gonna need that rod. You're gonna need to fish out that rod, and we only have 1 rod in this deck, so it's gonna be very, very difficult to get past your first Darmanitan. After your first Darmanitan gets knocked out, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything except wait for that prize card, that prized Darmanitan should show up, wait for your rod to show up, or something like that. So we can't be relying on those things to happen. That is why we need all 4 Darumakas and Darmanitans you know, in this deck, just in case a few turn up in our prize card. We still have a lot more in our deck to, you know, to use. So we have Frosmoth, 3 Frosmoth and 3 Snoms in this deck. So Frosmoth allows us to use Ice Dance to attach as many Water Energy cards as we like from our hand to any one of our benched Water type Pokemon. So it has to be a Water type. That means it only works for Darumaka. That is why we have our Scoop Up Net to you know, devolve essentially our Darmanitan back into stage 1 and to place it back at the bench position. So that is how we are recycling the Ice Dawn's ability and recycle the energy attachment to our Darmanitan as well with a trading card and also one energy retrieval. We actually need more of those cards, but we can't find enough space for those cards because, as I said, we're playing 2 stage 1s. But we have an ordinary rod to shuffle back those energy cards and our Darmanitan Darumaka or Frosmoth if we need, because sometimes we may have a bad hand and, you know, wind up with 2 Frosmoth and a Dedenne-GX, for example, in our hand, and we may need to shuffle back a few Frosmoth just in case, you know, early on in the game we have to discard it because we have a bad hand, or a few may turn out in our prize card as well. So we have 2 Fan of Waves because Fan of Waves allow us to attack those attack those metal type, leaf type with double the damage with our weakness advantage. So it gives us the weakness advantage for you know, for the effect of removing those extra weakness guard energies and coating energies. We can also remove those horror energy or heat energy for those extra effects, aromatic energy as well, but we are not using special conditions for this deck, so aromatic energy is not actually quite threatening for us. But even if they're playing all of those non-threatening special type energies like twin energy or what do you call that, twin energy or aromatic energy or wash energy or stuff like that, it does still do a lot of damage to our opponent because we are reducing their energy card count by 1. So Fan of Waves only works for special energy cards, but it does a lot if they are playing a coating or weakness guard energy. It gives us a huge advantage. That is why I love that card, because we are playing a fire type, and fire type we are actually strong against. It gives us a double damage advantage against Zacian V, against Corviknight VMAX, against all of those powerful steel types. So it also gives us an advantage against Orbital VMAX, all of those leaf types. You know, Rillaboom Voltage beat deck with the Alolan Exeggutor and Rowlet Tag Team GX. That's a very famous deck, and Delmice VMAX, all of those Leaf VMAX decks, Rillaboom VMAX as well. So Fan of Waves does a lot. So we also have Brunos in this deck, 2 Bruno, 2 Birdkeeper, 2 Professor's Research, and 2 Marnies. Those are our means of drawing more cards into our hand so that we get the right cards in hand to be able to evolve fast, switch and attach energy fast, and attack immediately right on our second turn if we can. And then we have 2 Dedenne-GX and 2 Crobat Vs as well. We don't want to have too many of those cards because we are filling our bench spot with as many Darumakas and as many Frosmoth as we can. We only need 2 Frosmoth, by the way, just in case one get boss order knockout. We have another one in spare, and then we need as many Darumakas on our bench as possible so that we get to switch and scoop up the active Darmanitan, and then evolve on our next turn, immediately attack with the next Darmanitan. That's important because we need to charge up as much as 3 Darumakas if possible. If not, then 2 is enough actually. If we can attack with the active Darmanitan, then we need another one at the bench spot ready to go for the next turn so that we get to scoop up the active one and then, you know, put out a new Darumaka on the bench spot, already fully charged, ready, fully prepared, evolve it and attack, and that's it. And then we before we attack though, we need to charge up the you know, the next Darumaka so that we get to prepare for the next turn. So that's how it goes. The cycle continues. That's how this deck works. So sometimes we may not need to scoop it up. All we need is to Birdkeeper switch it because we may not be able to scoop it up. We only have 2 scoop up nets in this deck and we may not get them in time. So Birdkeeper Air Balloon allows us to switch those Darmanitans back to the bench spot, and then all we need to do is charge it slowly because we are reducing only 2 energy cards. So if they don't play Crushing Hammer, we actually only discard 2 water energies. We can actually fill that colorless space with either a capture energy or a recycle energy. So if we fill it with a recycle energy, we get to recycle that energy card as well. Even if they use Crushing Hammer, we put it back into our hand. So all we need to do is retreat it and then switch it back into the bench spot, use a new Darmanitan to attack, attach energy 1 by 1 to our Darmanitan if we can't get our scoop up net in time, because it is only 2 extra energy. That means we only need 2 extra turns. So we are wasting 1 turn though, so that is why this deck is not really that good, because you need a lot of scoop up nets to make it work. And we can't actually afford to have that many scoop up nets because we need those other cards. We need Evolution Incenses. We need Energy Retrieval. Training card is a very strong card. We need level balls for our Frosmoth. We need Evolution Incense. Setup card Sonia. We need also our Quick Ball, and Capacious Bucket. So we need way too many cards. We need also Fan of Waves to give us an extra advantage. So all of those cards eat up all of those spaces for our Scoop Up Net. We don't have space for Scoop Up Net anymore. That is why we can only fit in 2 for this deck. Unless you prefer to have more Scoop Up Net and less Fan of Waves, then that's actually a personal preference. For me, I prefer to have more Fan of Waves because that actually gives me a huge advantage against those Metal and Leaf type decks, which is actually making this, you know, is tipping this deck over to the you know, Metal and Leaf type decks, because it actually gives us a huge advantage if we are paired against those lucky decks. So if you're lucky enough to pair against a 𝒂𝒊𝒉 or any other Leaf type decks, then we are gonna be able to win very, very easily. So that is all for this deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It is called the Burning Snowman. So please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you find our videos interesting, entertaining, and fulfilling in any way, keep fighting for more victories, keep building better decks, and keep challenging yourself with new cards. The new expansion Chilling Reign is going to be out on 18th of June, so I'm looking forward to that. Hope you guys are looking forward to it as well, because it is going to feature new VMAX cards. It's going to feature new abilities, new Pokemon, new trainer cards. Every card is going to be new, and we're going to be able to use our creative imaginations. We're going to be able to explore our personality, to expand our creativity, and build new decks with new cards. So I'm very excited for that. Let's cheer out for the new expansion Chilling Reign. So that is all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one, and have a nice day. Bye guys.